Okay.
All right. Hello, everybody. We are just going to go live on Instagram.
It's
There we
not letting
go.
me munch.
All right, it's fine. Hello, everybody. It's Dr. Simran here with my mom, Minnie. Welcome to our weekly live. So, if you've been following us for a while, you know that we come live every Wednesday. I am a triple board certified physician with a expertise and passion for lifestyle medicine, as well as a health and wellness coach. And my whole passion in life now, after practicing palliative care for 10 years, is to share with you the knowledge and the tools that I've learned to really help you improve your quality of life, reduce your risk of disease, and really just live your best life. My mom is one of the strongest people I know. She's a 2-time breast cancer survivor. She's an entrepreneur, and she is a also has certification in plant-based nutrition. And one of the things that we share in common is we love to cook. And so we come on here and share different lifestyle and plant-based tips with you and show you how easy plant-based cooking can be. So we just recently started going live on multiple platforms. So now we're live on Instagram, we're live on Facebook, and we're live on YouTube. So we would love for you to share this with somebody. If you're watching the replay, thank you. Today, since it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, it is Menopause Month, we thought every week this
Full
month
month.
we would share with you recipes using soy, because there are so many health benefits for soy and women's health. So today we'll talk a little bit about the benefits of soy for menopause. And so if you want, what we're going to be making is a chocolate tofu mousse, and it may not sound appealing, but it's actually really, really tasty and a great way to get a sweet treat without, having to reach for the super processed, ultra processed puddings and desserts. So this is going to be low fat, it's going to be high protein, it's going to have a lot of vitamins and minerals and phytonutrients that are going to be great for your health. And if you want the recipe, I'm going to share it here as we're making it, but if you want the recipe after I post the video, please go to Instagram and comment mousse, and I will send you the recipe. Anything you want to share, Mom, before we get started here?
First of all, thank you for having me and keep inspiring me to live a healthy life, being a 2-time breast cancer survivor. And it's amazing how my life changed in since 2018. I become plant-based with you guys, and it has totally shifted like how much can we enjoy soy, which is a amazing, versatile, I would say high protein, high fiber, low fat ingredients. We can use it in our day-to-day life. So one of the recipe we are doing the mousse. I'm not a big dessert person, but this one I really enjoy eating, and it's high protein and it's low fat and it's amazing and all natural with maple syrup and stuff. So
Yeah,
I'm
and
excited
so
to make this with you today.
you really started incorporating soy, what, like 15, 20 years ago when you were
Yes.
after your first cancer diagnosis?
Yes, but then there was a lot of myths at that time. They used to say, oh, you're not supposed to have soy so much, maybe one serving or two servings. So at that time, the superfood used to be called tofu and quinoa and all. So I did this course, Art of Living course. So I got introduced. My first nutrition side came from Art of Living. Very little in the course they teach you one day, but then I started incorporating that. But then again, there are a lot of myths out there. But I think since you came into to nutrition. So, with the big wave, and you start learning, and you taught me that, hey, mom, this is really, really important for you to have. It's a protection for you. So I try to do one serving or two to serving a day of soy with my every meal. So this weekend I had few ladies over, and then they were like non-vegetarian, regular South Asian women, and then I made something similar like the butter tofu recipe we make, but not like that one is really, really intense, like when I make it at home. But this one was very simple with coconut cream and a little bit of tomato base. And I added tofu with chickpeas. So they were like, wow, this is amazing. Like, this is so light. Plus, it has chickpeas in it and tofu. So I got a very good response for these people who are not like, it's just you need to play with your food. Once you start playing with the food, and your doors can open so much, because people, you and me, people tell us, oh, you are vegan or you're plant based, where you get your protein, or like
So
there's so much of
cool thing about so the cool thing about tofu, or the cool thing about soy, that it comes in so many different forms, right? If you want to catch the play from last week, I talked all about the myths of soy and all the reasons people avoid it or avoid it. And I think the big challenge with soy, most people go to their doctor, get health information. Most conventional trained doctors, myself, we don't have the knowledge of nutrition. We're not taught science of nutrition, out of science, to the benefits of soy. So, study now. We have a few of soy. Soy is, it comes in many different forms. So you can do whole, like soybeans. You can use curries. It's kind of like a kind of like curd, like almost like almost cheese in a sense. Different firmness. You can extra thick. You can get extra firm, and then is soft pudding. And then you fermented in terms of soy, like tempeh, as a substitute sort of dish you're looking for. So is breast awareness, and last week we talked about for breast cancer risk reduction, not just prevention, like if breast cancer, soy to reduce your risk, but also like someone like my brother, and now incorporate her diet to reduce her getting cancer again. We have a lot of data in humans, so it's very so really everything that people get worried about is the or plant-based don't work. I was listening to a podcast because there was an article that was talking about different types of that are in and to an increased risk of cancer, and these are coming from different types of microplastics. So they're known as xenoestrogens. So things like phthalates and parabens, and different, so many of them different. But there's different environmental exposures that and these plastics mimic and heighten estrogen in our bodies, that risk of breast cancer. So very cautious. Some when oftentimes that thermal are mindful or consumption of plastics in your life, because that's actually things that actually are disruptors in breast cancer, versus soy really actually reduce the risk of breast cancer. Okay, for this, so it's both of. If you guys have any questions, comments, we're gonna use silk and then do is we are going to get some cocoa powder. So a quarter of cocoa powder. I saw another showing a tablespoon of cocoa powder a day for was actually linked to improved muscle mass and your performance, your grip strength in we are getting that we are mass increased risk of and debility and fractures and all of the quality of life. Something as simple cocoa powder, like pure cocoa powder, right? In muscle mass and our muscle strength, because it's something you can do every day, right? And then you are not much into, okay, well, muscles are not that important. Was shown that just a single tablespoon of cocoa or pure cocoa powder a day can improve skin's elasticity, can reduce wrinkles. So if you do 3 months, great for health too. So cocoa powder, I'm not going to, I think I'm just because I didn't, so I'm gonna dark chocolate, want to melt it or did it, so I'm not gonna put it in here. Here we go. So I just added more powder. One thing you can do when you're chocolate based recipe is you can add coffee or espresso powder and make flavor of the chocolate even. But I don't have that, so we're not going to put that in there. Plus, the kids need coffee; they have plenty of energy. So, but of sea salt, and one of the things you'll mom share recipe, never follow the recipe. Always is the fine magic of being in the kitchen. One of the things I used to get with mom about when I was in medical school, I'd call her and be like, "Okay, give me the recipe." She would be like, "Okay, put a bunch of this, do a this or that, do a this or that." I'm like, "Hey, mom, like, give me a measurement." She's like, "There's a measurement." So now I understand that because that's how I cook too. So this recipe is cinnamon, but right now it's like the season of cinnamon, and I'm putting cinnamon in everything. Cinnamon is great spice. So we're gonna add that in there. Then I'm gonna add some flax seeds. They're also great. Something I incorporate every single day. Also a great food for breast cancer risk reduction. Everything in here. So have, we're gonna add a little syrup of vanilla, and we're gonna put 2 tablespoons of Dr. Johnson is saying breaking up but love the info. Thank you. Oh no, sorry. Is my internet not? Oh, okay, that's not good. Thanks for letting me know. I'll look into that. But for being here, I appreciate it. Alrighty, so we have now what we'll just add a little bit of butter, and then we'll mix this up. As you could do, you really wanted to make it a little bit heavier. Avocado, banana, if you want high protein, although the tofu already had protein, but if you make more protein, add some almond butter or some peanut butter. You can also almond up here. And if you don't have in there, the other option would to do, I had a shake this morning, but this protein powder I use, it's from Milan. Protein really, really great. So if you want, mix this. Right. Okay, unfortunately, my internet is not so great, but here we go. Can you hear me, Mom?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So here we go. So you're gonna see the consistency of this. Okay. So it almost gives you like that bouncy, consistency that you get with a pudding usually. So it's very, very, very tasty. Mine's not that sweet because I didn't add a whole lot of sweetness, but I really like it like that. So here's the thing. I've been talking to a lot of women lately. My mom and I are both in menopause. And menopause is one of those things like that most doctors are actually not trained really well in. Just like all of my other interests, palliative care, lifestyle medicine, these are things that most of us as conventionally trained doctors have not been well trained in, especially when you talk about, lifestyle modifications to improve the quality of life for women in menopause. But it's kind of all around me right now. Every woman I'm talking to is dealing with these vague symptoms of perimenopause or menopause. I went into surgical menopause at 32 after I had risk-reducing hysterectomy, and my mom went into something called chemical menopause after chemotherapy in her 30s. So we've both been dealing with premature menopause. So, one of the symptoms that a lot of women in menopause deal with are something called vasomotor symptoms. So those are things like hot flashes. Those are things like vaginal symptoms like vaginal dryness, night sweats, which then interferes with your sleep, right? And the cool thing about soy is we have studies to show us that soy actually reduces vasomotor symptoms associated with menopause. So not only does it reduce hot flashes, the frequency of the hot flashes, but it also reduces the intensity of the hot flashes. And if you've ever had hot flashes before, then you know that they're very uncomfortable, especially if you get them at night, because then you break out in sweats and then it interferes with your sleep. And sleep is the foundation for everything in our health, right? And so if we're not sleeping well, it increases risk of things like metabolic syndrome. So, gaining more weight, prediabetes, diabetes. And these are things that as women going through menopause, we're already at higher risk for, because estrogen protects us from all of that. And now in menopause, we are at higher risk of all of these metabolic issues. So sleep is very, very important, which means that it's very important to find ways to manage these vasomotor symptoms if you're somebody that gets them. The thing about menopause is that every single woman's experience is completely different. It is not one of those things that you can read a textbook and know what you're dealing with. So every woman's experience is completely different. But the vasomotor symptoms can definitely affect quality of life, but then can also affect, your ability to function, your ability to sleep, and all of that. So incorporating 1 to 2 to 3 servings of whole food soy a day is something that can help with the vasomotor symptoms, especially if you're looking for more of a natural way to manage these symptoms and you don't want to go on medications. Sometimes the medications are necessary, but it's also empowering to know that there are things that we can do, especially with our food, to help us manage these symptoms. So the vasomotor symptoms, the vaginal symptoms, and then the other thing is that once we enter menopause, like I was saying, estrogen normally protects our heart, protects our brain, protects our bones. And so, it reduces our risk of metabolic syndrome. But what most women notice is that as they get to menopause, they start gaining weight around their midsection. Their cholesterol levels start to go up. Their blood sugar regulation is off. They start to get more brain fog. They start to have more cravings. And then it's just a vicious cycle. It all feeds on itself. And so what's important here is that soy has actually been shown in studies to help reduce bad cholesterol. So you've probably heard of LDL, right? So this is a great way to manage your bad cholesterol. It's a great way, healthy way to manage your weight, because it's very high in fiber and it'll keep you full longer. And so it can help with that weight management and overall down the road, reduce your risk of metabolic syndrome. And so then also reduce your risk of things like heart disease and Alzheimer's disease and things like that. So that's just my 2 cents about it. If you have any thoughts, I would love to hear. what you have to say. You can drop your comments. Otherwise, our pudding is ready. Now we will just put this in the fridge to cool down, and it makes a perfect dessert. Again, healthy fats, lots of fiber, very little. We added 2 tablespoons of maple syrup in this whole thing, so very little sugar, and great source of fiber, great source of protein. You can up the protein by adding some protein powder, by adding some nuts, adding some seeds, adding some nut butters. So there's a lot you can do with this super simple recipe, and it makes a great dessert. So my kids are going to be super happy. And if my daughter was home right now, she would want to lick this whole container. So, all right, Min, do you have anything else to add? It looks like our internet connection is not very good today. All right. Well,
I don't know what's going on with the internet today.
Yeah, our internet is not very good today.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Marilyn Johnson said, I thought soy caused cancer in mature women. So I'm not sure what you mean by mature women. If you mean postmenopausal women, older women, we actually have studies in humans to show that whole food sources of soy, things like edamame and soybeans and tofu and tempeh, unsweetened soy milk, miso, things like that, whole food forms of soy actually reduce our risk of postmenopausal breast cancer. So it's been shown in studies to work very similar to the breast cancer drug tamoxifen, which is basically an estrogen blocking medication that we give women who have hormone positive breast cancers. And soy, not saying that it can replace that, but soy has been shown to work very similarly to the drug tamoxifen. So it has an estrogen blocking effect in our body, and therefore can reduce our risk of postmenopausal breast cancer. So this is a long-standing myth that soy causes breast cancer. It does not. It actually protects us from breast cancer. So that's, I think, very important for us to learn and to share that message, because we know this now. Like there are hundreds of studies in humans showing this. And if you look at other parts of the world where women have been consuming whole food sources of soy for centuries, like Southeast Asia, women that eat their typical diet over there have much lower rates of breast cancer than we do in America. And diet is just one piece of the puzzle. It's not everything. It's just one piece of the puzzle. But this is one thing that you can do and incorporate into your diet. Tofu is very accessible. You can find it at most of the grocery stores. It's a sponge. You can cook it in any way that you would normally cook meat. It's just very important to season it and spice it well. It's available year round. And for one block of tofu like this, you're usually paying maybe $2.50, $3 at most. And one block of tofu like this has close to 45 grams of protein. So it's a whole quality protein with all of your essential amino acids. So to me, this is a well-rounded food. Healthy fats, good quality protein, high in fiber, high in vitamins, minerals, especially magnesium, especially calcium, iron, and calcium, iron, and I'm forgetting the third one. And then the last piece you get with this that you don't get with other foods is the isoflavones. So that is the phytonutrient found specifically in soy that gives it its anti-cancer properties, the isoflavones. So that's what I would say for that. And I'm sure we will continue to have to share this message because
I am going to try this for my next party.
Okay.
and the chocolate flavor is like cocoa really actually makes you give this happy hormone, so you feel like licking on it. I'm already licking my bowl. It's really good, guys. You must try.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
super delicious.
And you can add berries and you can add nuts and whatever you want on top.
So like my mom said, the if you're using pure cocoa powder, not alkalized, but pure cocoa powder, great for your mental health. It can boost endorphins, great for your immune system. As I mentioned earlier, it's great for building muscle mass, muscle strength, and also it's great for your skin health. So forget the fancy collagen powders. You want to reduce wrinkles, increase elasticity. Take a tablespoon of cocoa powder a day for 3 months and tell me what your skin looks like after that.
Really? I didn't know that. Okay. Then I should have cocoa, like a hot drink cocoa with soya milk.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're making hot chocolate, use cocoa powder, but pure
Let's
cocoa
do
powder.
that next week with soya milk.
Yeah, that would be good. Like a cocoa chai.
Cocoa chai or cocoa milk with soya milk.
All right. Well, we are going to call it a day. Dr. Marilyn, if you would like the recipe for this, I'm going to post the replay of this. So please on Instagram, just comment the word moose and on this video, and you will be directed to the recipe. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope you make it. I hope you share this replay. Sorry about the bad internet connection. My mom's got her mousse ready there, and I've got my dessert ready for tonight. So I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your Wednesday. And if you're in the Florida region, please stay safe. And we are thinking about you.
Yeah.
All right. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye.
Thank you, and thank you. Bye.